The air inside the farmhouse in Morata de Tajuña is stale and hangs heavy with the temperature of the Spanish plateau before dawn. It is freezing. He feels the damp cold of the stone walls radiating against his back, a constant, silent pressure that stiffens the muscles in his lumbar region. His breath creates a faint, momentary fog in the dim yellow light of the single bulb hanging from the ceiling. He looks at his hands. They are stained with the reddish residue of the dynamite. The Goma 2 ECO is a pliable, gelatinous mass that resists his fingers with a dense, oily texture. It smells of nitroglycol and sweet chemicals, a cloying scent that clings to the fibers of his woolen sweater and settles deep in his sinuses. He tastes it when he swallows, a metallic, bitter film that water cannot wash away. He moves to the table. The wooden surface is rough and splintered under his forearms. He picks up a handful of nails and bolts. They are cold, jagged pieces of industrial iron. He weighs them in his palm. The metal clinks softly against itself, a sound like dry bones rattling in a cup. He pours them into the blue sports bag. The sound of the iron hitting the bottom of the nylon bag is a dull, muffled crash that vibrates through the floorboards and up into the soles of his boots. He packs the explosives. He wraps the cartridge in plastic. The tape makes a sharp, tearing sound that slices through the silence of the room, a violent punctuation mark. He pulls the adhesive tight, feeling the tension in his wrists, the friction of the tape warming the tips of his fingers. The bag is becoming heavy. It is no longer a bag, it is a condensed unit of kinetic energy. He reaches for the phone, a Mitsubishi Triumph. The plastic casing is smooth and cheap under his thumb. He presses the buttons. The keypad offers a soft, rubbery resistance. The screen glows a pale, sickly green in the semi-darkness. He sets the alarm. The numbers are black pixels, 0739. He looks at the copper detonator. It is thin and fragile, a small metal tube that holds the end of everything. He inserts it into the explosive mass. The resistance of the dynamite yields to the metal with a wet suction. He connects the wires. The copper strands are sharp and prick his fingertips. He twists them together. The connection is physical. He feels the circuit close in the tension of the wire. He zips the bag shut. The zipper teeth interlock with a rhythmic, mechanical buzzing sound that seems remarkably loud. He lifts the bag. The strap digs into his shoulder, cutting off the circulation. It weighs 10 kilograms. He feels the shift of the center of gravity in his body as he compensates for the load, his spine adjusting to the new reality of the weight. The smell of the Goma 2 is overpowering now, masking the scent of the stale tobacco smoke from the others in the room. He does not look at their faces. He sees only their hands. Disembodied tools wrapping, taping, loading. The floor is littered with scraps of wire and insulation tape. He steps over a coil of detonating cord. His boots scuff against the concrete, a gritty, abrasive noise that sets his teeth on edge. He walks to the door. The handle is freezing metal that burns his skin. He opens it. The night air rushes in, smelling of dry earth and goat manure, a sharp, organic contrast to the chemical density of the room. The darkness outside is absolute. He feels the gravel of the driveway crunch under his soles, each step a distinct geological event. The white Renault Kangoo sits in the shadows, a dormant metal beast. He feels the cold plastic of the sliding door handle. He pulls. The door slides open on its track with a low, rumbling growl of metal on metal. He swings the bag inside. The thud of the nylon hitting the van floor is final. He is shivering, but not from the cold. It is a physiological tremor in his vastus lateralis muscle, a rapid firing of nerves he cannot control. He rubs his thigh. The fabric of his jeans is rough against his palm. He climbs into the passenger seat. The upholstery smells of dust and old plastic. He waits. The engine turns over, a coughing, sputtering start that vibrates through the chassis and into his teeth. The headlights cut a cone of yellow illumination into the dirt road. He stares at the dust motes dancing in the beams. They look like static. The engine dies. The vibration in the chassis stops, but the hum remains in his fingertips. He sits for a second in the Renault Kangoo. The silence is not quiet. It is filled with the ticking of the cooling metal manifold and the rush of blood in his ears. He opens the door. The air at Alcalá de Henares station is gray and smells of ozone and wet pavement. He steps out. His boot hits the curb, a hard, flat impact that travels up his shin. He reaches into the back. The blue sports bag is a dead weight. He grips the handle. The nylon is coarse and cold. He lifts. The muscles in his forearm tighten into a hard knot. The bag swings against his thigh, a heavy, dull collision that bruises the muscle. It is 10 kilograms of density. He swings it onto his shoulder. The strap bites instantly. It is a thin line of pressure cutting through his jacket, digging into the trapezius. He adjusts the weight. The nails inside shift with a fluid, metallic grinding sound. Clack, sh, clack. He looks around. The street is a blur of sodium streetlights and shadows. He walks toward the station entrance. His breath smokes in the cold air. He joins the stream of commuters. They are soft shapes in heavy coats. He smells them before he sees them. The scent of stale sleep, cheap cologne, and damp wool. He is a hard object moving through a soft world. He reaches the turnstiles. The machine is a barrier of brushed steel. He inserts the ticket. The magnetic strip slides in with a dry zip. The mechanism clicks. The barrier opens. He pushes through. The metal bar hits his hip bone. He walks down the stairs to the platform. The concrete steps are worn and slippery. He focuses on his feet. 1, 2, 3. The bag pulls him to the right. He fights the gravity, keeping his spine straight. The platform is crowded. The air here is warmer, thick with the humidity of hundreds of exhaling lungs. It tastes of recycled coffee and body heat. He stands near a pillar. The concrete is rough against his shoulder. He rests the bag on the floor between his boots. The relief is instant. A rush of blood back into his arm. He keeps his leg pressed against the nylon. He feels the solid, boxy shape of the explosive charge through the fabric of his jeans and the canvas of the bag. It is a secret connection. The ground begins to tremble. It starts as a low vibration in the soles of his boots, a tremor that shakes the loose change in his pocket. The air pressure in the station changes, pushing against his eardrums. The train is coming. The sound grows. A rising metallic scream of steel wheels grinding on steel tracks. The headlights sweep across the platform, blinding white ovals that wash out the color of the faces around him. The brakes squeal, a high-pitched frequency that pierces his skull. The train stops. The doors hiss open. The vacuum seal breaks. A wave of warm, stale air rushes out, smelling of rubber and electric motors. He lifts the bag. The weight returns, heavier than before. He steps across the gap. The floor of the train is rubberized and sticky. He finds a spot near the door. He does not sit. He stands. He places the bag between his feet again. The doors chime, ding-dong, and slide shut. The train lurches forward. He grabs the metal pole. It is polished smooth by thousands of hands, greasy and warm. The acceleration pulls at his body. He sways. The bag stays planted, an anchor of lead and iron. He looks at the window. The tunnel walls blur into a stream of black and dirty cables. The reflection in the glass is a ghost. He sees only the dark circles under eyes and the bulk of the bag at his feet. The train rocks. The bag tips slightly. He corrects it with his boot. He feels the hard edge of a bolt pressing through the nylon against his ankle. A reminder. The metal is real. The physics are absolute. He closes his eyes for a second. The rhythm of the tracks is a steady, hypnotic beat. Clack, 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 clack. It matches the thudding of his heart. He is a courier of heavy matter. The train speeds up. The Goma-2 is traveling at 80 kilometers per hour. He swallows. The taste of the copper wire is still on his tongue. The train rocks side to side, a rhythmic, nauseating sway that unbalances his inner ear. The fluorescent lights overhead flicker, a rapid, low-frequency strobing that chops the movement of the passengers into disjointed, jerky frames. He looks at the reflection in the darkened window opposite him. It is transparent. He feels transparent. A man in a gray suit stands 3 meters away. The man is reading a newspaper. The paper rustles, crinkle, snap. The sound is aggressive, like dry leaves being crushed. The man lowers the paper. His eyes scan the car. They slide over the seats, the floor, the shoes. They stop on the blue sports bag. He feels his heart stutter, a skipped beat that leaves a hollow, fluttering void in his chest. The man looks up. Their eyes meet. The contact is physical, a sudden electric shock that travels down his neck and tightens his scalp. The man looks away. He is bored. He is looking for a seat. He is not a threat. But the adrenaline has already dumped into the bloodstream. It tastes of copper and acid. He looks at his hands. They are hanging by his sides. The fingers of his right hand are twitching. A micro-spasm in the thumb. Twitch, twitch. He cannot stop it. He creates a fist. The fingernails dig into the center of the palm, sharp crescent moons of pain that ground him in the physical world. He feels the sweat pooling in the small of his back, soaking into the waistband of his underwear. It is a cold, crawling sensation, like an insect moving under his shirt. The air in the carriage is suffocating. It is too humid. It smells of cheap hairspray, warm plastic, and the sour odor of 100 strangers' morning breath. He hears a phone ring somewhere in the car, a standard Nokia tune. Day-day-day-loo, day-day-day-loo. It is deafening. It sounds like a police siren. He flinches, a sharp jerk of the shoulder. His hand darts to his own pocket. The Mitsubishi Triumph is there. He feels the hard rectangular outline of the device through the denim of his jeans. He needs to check the screen. He needs to see the numbers. The paranoia whispers that the alarm has reset, that the battery is dead, that the wire has come loose. If he pulls it out, they will see his trembling. They will see the guilt radiating off his skin like heat haze. He forces his eyes to the floor. The linoleum is speckled gray and blue, a pattern of chaos. He counts the specks. He imagines the black glass dome of the CCTV camera above the door. He feels the lens zooming in on his jugular vein, tracking the rapid pulse that is visible under the skin. He wipes his forehead with his sleeve. The wool is rough and scratches his wet skin. The train slows. The brakes grind. A high-pitched shriek of metal friction that vibrates in his molars. The deceleration pulls the blood down into his feet, making his head light. Santa Eugenia. The station announcement is a garbled, robotic voice that sounds underwater. He looks at the bag again. It sits between his feet, innocent and heavy. A woman with a stroller pushes past him to get to the door. The plastic wheel of the stroller hits the blue bag. Thump. He stops breathing. His diaphragm locks. He waits for the flash. He waits for the expansion of gas. He waits for the end. Nothing. The bag just sits there. The woman mutters an apology. Her voice is a dull, meaningless murmur. He nods. He cannot speak. His tongue is a dry piece of leather glued to the roof of his mouth. The doors hiss open. The fresh air hits him, cold, sharp, real. He has to leave it. The separation anxiety is a physical nausea, a tightening of the stomach. He steps away. The invisible tether stretches. He looks back once. The bag looks like gym clothes. It looks like nothing. It is a glitch in the matrix of the morning commute. He steps onto the platform. The doors close. The machine takes the package away. He steps out of the station shadow into the street. The sunlight is weak, a pale, diluted gray that offers no warmth to his face. He stops by a metal trash bin. He adjusts his jacket. He pulls the zipper up, a sharp, mechanical zzt that travels up his throat and seals him in. He smooths the nylon fabric over his chest. It is a ritual of concealment. He touches his face. His skin feels tight, stretched over the cheekbones like cured leather. He runs a hand through his hair. The strands are stiff with dried sweat and gel. He is composing a mask. He looks at the street. This is the normal world. It is a chaotic stream of sensory data that he can no longer process. A woman in a red coat walks past him. He smells her perfume, vanilla and heavy musk. It is a violent, intrusive scent that makes his stomach turn. She laughs into a phone. The sound is sharp, a jagged shard of glass in the muffled air. He watches a city bus pull away from the curb. The engine roars, a deep diesel bellow that vibrates in the pavement and travels up through the soles of his sneakers. Vroom. The ground shakes. He flinches. His nerves are stripped wires. He breathes. The air is shallow. It only fills the top third of his lungs. He cannot take a deep breath. His rib cage is a rigid cage of bone that refuses to expand. He walks to a kiosk. The colors of the magazines are too bright, vibrating against his retinas. He sees a headline, Elecciones Generales. The letters are meaningless geometric shapes of black ink. He buys a pack of gum. He doesn't want it. He needs the mechanical action. He hands over a coin. The metal is cold and greasy. His fingers brush the vendor's hand. The contact is repulsively warm, soft, human. He peels the foil wrapper. The silver paper crinkles. A microscopic thunderclap that sounds louder than the traffic. He puts the gum in his mouth. It tastes of artificial mint and chalk. He checks his pocket. The Mitsubishi Triumph is a hard, warm brick against his thigh. He touches the keypad through the denim. 1, 2, 3. He does not pull it out. He knows the time. It is 7:37. The numbers are burning in his mind. He looks back at the station entrance. The black mouth of the tunnel swallows people. Men in suits, students with backpacks, mothers. They are soft. They are fluid. He is static. He is a stone in a river. He hears the distant screech of a train breaking underground. Screech! It is a high-pitched metal cry that makes his molars ache. Is that the one? He listens. The city noise washes over him. A wall of white noise. Traffic, sirens, voices. He focuses on the silence between the sounds. He waits for the rupture. He feels the blood pulsing in his neck, a rapid, fluttery beat, thump, 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 thump. It is too fast. He tries to swallow. His throat clicks dryly. The mint turns bitter. He turns away from the station. He walks. His legs feel light, detached from his torso. He is a camera floating down the sidewalk. He counts his steps to keep the world from dissolving. 1, 2, 3. The buildings around him look fragile. The glass of the shop windows looks like liquid. The brick walls look like dust held together by habit. He is waiting for the physics to break. He is walking away, but his consciousness is still trapped inside the nylon bag on the luggage rack of the C2 line train. He checks his watch. 7:39. The second hand sweeps past the 12. A precise mechanical movement. Tick. The world fractures. It is not a sound, it is a physical displacement of the atmosphere. He feels the shockwave before he hears it, a sudden, violent compression that punches him in the back, shoving him forward a half step. The air in his lungs is forced out in a sharp gasp. The pavement under his feet jumps, a tectonic spasm that travels instantly up his shins and rattles his knees. The glass window of the shop next to him flexes. He sees the reflection of the street wobble like a disturbed pool of water. Then the sound arrives. It is not an explosion. It is the end of the world. Crack, boom. A deep, guttural roar that rips the sky open. It is a sound so loud it has texture. It is gravel and shattered iron grinding against his eardrums. He flinches, his shoulders hunching up to protect his neck, a primal reflex he cannot suppress. He stops. He turns. He looks back toward Atoka. A column of gray smoke is rising above the rooftops. It is thick and oily, unfolding like a slow-motion bruise against the pale morning sky. He watches it expand. It looks solid. He focuses on the people around him. They have stopped moving. They are statues. A man in a blue jacket has dropped his briefcase. It lies flat on the sidewalk. The man's mouth is open, a perfect black O, but no sound comes out. A woman screams. The sound is thin and high, a needle pricking the heavy blanket of the aftershock. Then another boom, thud. This one is deeper, felt more in the stomach than the ears. The ground shudders again, Tellez Street. The air suddenly smells of burning plastic and pulverized brick, a dry, choking dust that coats the back of his throat instantly. He tastes the destruction. It is alkaline and bitter. His vision tunnels. The peripheral world, the cars, the trees, the buildings, blurs into a gray smear. He sees only the smoke. He sees a flock of pigeons erupt from the station roof, a chaotic cloud of white wings beating frantically against the smoke. They look like confetti. He feels a vibration in his pocket. Is it the phone? No. It is his own hand trembling against his leg. He is a camera recording the data. He zooms in. A piece of metal falls from the sky and hits the asphalt 20 meters away. Clang. It is a twisted piece of train door. It steams in the cold air. He starts to walk again. His movements are stiff, robotic. His knees don't bend properly. He feels the recoil of the event in his bones. The sirens start. First one, then 10, then 100. A rising wail that layers over itself until it becomes a single, solid wall of noise. Wee-oo, wee-oo. It drowns out his thoughts. It drowns out his heartbeat. He is walking through a soup of sound. He passes a car stopped in the middle of the road. The driver is just sitting there, hands gripping the wheel, staring straight ahead. He looks at the driver. The driver is a mannequin. He looks at the traffic light. It is red. It means nothing. The rules of the city have evaporated. He is a ghost moving through the wreckage. He feels a strange, detached lightness in his chest. The weight of the bag is gone. The potential energy has become kinetic. The equation is balanced. He rubs his hands together. They are cold and dry. He feels the friction of his skin. It is the only real thing left. He turns a corner. The smoke is behind him now, but the smell is stuck in his nose. It smells like hot copper and meat. The adrenaline crashes. It leaves him instantly, drained away like water from a cracked vessel. He is hollow. He sits on the edge of the bed in the apartment in Leganés. The mattress is soft and sags under his weight, a decaying foam sponge that offers no support. The room is dark. The shutters are closed, but slices of blue police light strobe across the ceiling. Flash, dark, flash, dark. A hypnotic, rhythmic pulse that matches the throbbing in his temples. He stares at the floor. The linoleum is patterned with fake wood grain. He traces a swirl with his eyes. It loops forever. He feels the cold of the room seeping into his bones. His hands are resting on his knees. They look alien. The skin is pale, waxy, the knuckles prominent and white. He tries to make a fist. The fingers respond slowly, stiffly like rusty hinges. He feels a fine tremor in his left eyelid. Twitch. He hears them outside. The heavy boots on the stairs. Thud, thud, thud. A chaotic, aggressive rhythm. He hears the shouting, voices distorted by megaphones. Policía, salgan con las manos en alto. The words are garbled, meaningless noise. He doesn't move. He feels the weight of the explosive vest against his chest. It is a tight, restrictive embrace. The wires are taped to his skin. He feels the adhesive pulling at his chest hair, a sharp, tiny pain that anchors him. He looks at the others. They are shadows in the gloom. They are breathing hard. He hears the wheezing, the shallow gasps of men who know the math is finished. The smell in the room is rank. Unwashed bodies, stale sweat, and the sharp chemical tang of fear. It smells like a cage. The window glass shatters. Crash. A canister hisses across the floor, spinning and spitting white smoke. The tear gas hits him, a punch to the lungs. His eyes burn instantly, a searing, chemical fire that blinds him. He coughs, a wet, hacking spasm that doubles him over. He can't see. He can only feel. He feels the floor vibrating as they breach the door. The wood splinters with a loud crack. He gropes for the switch. His fingers brush the plastic trigger. It is smooth. It is the only way out. The chanting begins. Allahu Akbar. It is a low murmur at first, then a scream. He joins it. The sound vibrates in his chest, a hollow resonance. He doesn't hear the words. He feels the vibration in his throat. He squeezes the trigger. There is no sound. There is only a white void. The pressure is absolute. It is a crushing weight that collapses his chest, his skull, his existence into a single point of infinite density. The darkness is instant. It is cold. It is silence. The siren outside is cut off mid-wail. The pain is not pain. It is the absence of sensation. The floor is gone. The ceiling is gone. The blue light is gone. He is floating in a vacuum. He is a scattered collection of atoms drifting in the dust. The signal cuts. The black box stops recording. The tape runs out, static.